Welcome everyone to my new and improved 2DS home screen on the capture card. Now from the original trilogy, we show...
Hey, Dragon Quest 8 is available. Or it was 7. No, it was 7.
It was
sorry.
7.
I mean, at least it looks reasonably charged.
Yes, you know. So, thought I would just give you a little tour of the space before we get to it.
Yeah, but there's no there are no icons, Jovah.
Hey, Maya.
Yes, aged up. And there's Evil Maya, there's Athena and Apollo and Nayuta and Emma.
And Fruity Sephiroth.
Yes.
No, that's not with the Shiroi. Like, basically, Shiroi for the sixth main prosecutor decided to go for the traditional Asian, mystical guy.
And let me tell you, Shiroi.
Does he also get
Sure.
kicked in the third case?
Yes. Well, but sort of in a different way. I will say this, in terms of what's traditionally the wacky case of 6, that's more so case 4 in certain ways.
Wow, not case 3. Interesting.
Basically, Shiroi,
Well,
you have case 4 of Ace Attorney 6 to thank for the Clussy Fever meme.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I usually like to pretend episode 4 doesn't exist in that game, but...
Oh, you and most people.
Is that the clown girl everyone's thirsting
Yes.
over? Okay.
No. See, here's the thing. Let me put it this way, Shiroi. Ace Attorney 6 is my favorite game in the series, but that episode, but it's completely unrelated to episode 4. Like, I usually just like to block that episode out of my memory and just skip it.
Again, you and a lot of people, but anyway.
Meanwhile, last time, Barnum was cursing his entire existence.
Yeah, again, Barnum's getting the usual case-free treatment that prosecutors, except for Godo, tend to get by the third case, having their lives turned on their head.
Can you just imagine the storyteller be like, you know what? And then the defender presented a parrot, and there was nothing that Barnum could do about it. And it's such a rapscallion.
This is it, Maya's trial. We're finally able to make some headway in this case, at the expense of Barnum's sanity. Seems like they're trying to accuse her of that other incident too. We're dealing with one tough customer. You know, I love to...
We were clearly not even there at that point.
Well, again, as far as they're concerned, witch, magic...
Barnum's opening statement also accused Maya of the accident with the alchemist.
The real culprit is a witch. That much I'm certain of. But the question is, who? I think I know the answer.
It's not pretty. That's another thing. You mentioned in the previous part...
The butler did it. Jean Greer. If they think I'm going to let them take my...
that is what's happening.
They've got another thing coming. Yes,
You did mention about the fact that, this is a bit better because we got to know the character, but I argue not much. We were just presented to Jean a couple of minutes before the murder occurred.
Hey, Professor.
I like them,
Oh yeah, see, the thing about Jean is, I say we get to know them, we'll call them them for now, for a relatively, I'd say, good amount. Again, nothing deeply fleshed out, but we get a good glimpse of them. Also, they do put on that thing where, for some reason, Jean seemed to be legit trying to help find a cure for Layton, which really begs the question of things.
Have I missed something? Why is Maya allowed to get out of the cage during the intercession of the trial?
Well, I mean, a spell is allowed to run around, so
True. I mean, okay, to be fair...
I forgot if she did in the first trial, or if it was just a continuous thing without intermissions.
No. The first trial did not have any intermission, so for all we know...
I'm talking about that, mostly. I get the spell is still under suspicion, but is not the focus of this particular trial.
Keep in mind, Tio, as far as they're concerned, as long as the witch doesn't have Vitalea Magica, they're no danger, so... might as well let them out and about.
Also, I feel like it's a little different because up until now we haven't really, aside from Espella, but she's a whole other situation entirely, we haven't really gotten to know any of the culprits, like the real culprits, quote unquote.
Pretty much.
So,
for the first week trial, there's also a case of, urgency more than anything. In here, we kind of got to see the murder happening under our very eyes, so having a character involved, that's something that we might have known from previously in the game to also spice things up might have also worked a bit better rather than just dropping now Jean because it's the more again according to Phoenix it's the more logical because Jean was the one that was also in the alchemy study, so going through exclusion basically more than anything.
The interesting thing about Jean.
Oh, go on.
The interesting thing about Jean is that, unlike most culprits, though, they have surprisingly not really been a hindrance to us. Oh, sure, we had to examine the room under their supervision, but again, nothing that really would suggest that they're hindering us. And keep in mind, they were actually trying to help find a cure for Layton, so one might wonder, what's up with that? Was it all a big ruse, or is there something even more going on with this?
I feel like, because that's a good segue, I feel like a part of it that makes it a bit more personal is that the victim is Layton. It's not as personal as, I forget the name of the one, but where,
Kira?
With, what?
Kira, you're talking about the witch from the last trial?
No, I'm talking about Maya in the second game.
Right.
Oh, Reunion and Turnabout?
The one where she's kidnapped in the last
Farewell
trial.
My Turnabout.
Yeah, that one's very personal. It's not on that level, but at the same time I can see what they're going for with it.
I do notice that oftentimes the stakes tend to be best with Ace Attorney when they are the most personal. Not necessarily with the biggest, baddest villains, but definitely with the most personal stakes. Like Turnabout Goodbyes, Edgeworth was the defendant. Farewell My Turnabout. Yeah, Maya was kidnapped. Arguably even Reunion and Turnabout where Maya was once again the defendant as well. And here...
Also seeing Phoenix going through his, breakdown during that whole thing.
And in this case in particular, it's very personal on several accounts. The victim was a very dear friend of ours, especially, a beloved character to the Layton fans as well. Luke ended up being one of the witnesses because he was absolutely determined Maya was the defendant. And yeah, Maya in
He's
question...
practically a second father to Luke.
And Maya in question is the defendant, not to mention the fact that now our supposed culprit is someone who's arguably been one of the few citizens of Labyrinthia who's actually been nice and helpful to us.
I mean, Luke's a
Sorry, I have...
well, so yeah.
Yes, you're right.
I have to point something out. We're all having this conversation in this room, including Maya and Luke. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
no hard feelings. I didn't do it. Don't hurt me, please.
This is the scene where Luke is apologizing as well, and Maya's pointing out that he did help her by talking to Cracker. One more thing.
Oh, yes, I got... Oh, sorry.
Back to what you were saying.
But you go on, Jovah.
Back to what you were saying, too. I'd like to imagine that the storyteller at that moment decided, alright, just for once I'll throw the lawyer a bone. And then the lawyer gets uber lucky by a spell called Godor just happening to be in there that my daughter finds.
Yeah, that's another thing that I mentioned, I think, even in the previous part. Yeah, I think in the previous part. Again, this is the second witch trial in a row, and we're doing the same thing about a different kind of terminology being mistaken for the name of the spell.
Okay, to be fair, this is different from the first witch trial. In the first witch trial, the spell that we thought was used was actually used in that regard with Amir. It was just about realizing that that spell was a factor. Whereas when it came to, say, the Godor spell, that was actually mistaking one spell for another directly. So there is some variation there. And it does play into the theme of how people can get very confounded by magic and stuff here and there. So I think it's fair game here and there.
That's a promise, right?
Hey, Shiro.
Yes.
When it comes to the mystery of the whole burn part of the
Mr. Wright?
Yeah.
like a plot twist. Go on.
What is it, Luke? Do you mind if I join you from now on?
But hang on, I'm the co-counsel.
Not at all, Luke.
Luke is like, you're standing in my screen time.
Don't I get a say in this?
No.
Maya, you're kind of arrested right now. In this...
This is a speller.
In this strange town, even when what you see with your own eyes may not be real, that's why I'm not giving up yet.
Technically, that applies everywhere, Luke.
There's also the other side of this coin. Sure, the upping the stakes and giving a bit more heavy weight by having Layton being subjected to this is a big deal. But then there's the trope like you would really do it. Like for a crossover like this, putting that character in such a jeopardy position, it maybe is an indication that probably not everything is going as we thought. We're thinking, it's happening.
I will say this. There is a way that I would have preferred the story handled it. Sadly, that's not how it's handled, but to elaborate on that would be to spoil a ton of us games, so we're going to come back to that way later.
On the halfway point, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes, Luke, really.
Huh. And we're only at chapter 4?
I have a feeling he'll reappear again when we get into trouble and help us out.
She's talking about the professor.
Obviously.
I will spit you bitch!
Because, I mean, it's the professor we're talking about here.
He's standing right over there, too. Still dead, but...
See? Always here.
Right! He'll live on in our hearts.
I prefer to live in the real way!
And remember what he always says.
No one's
Get me
ever
out
really
of
gone.
here!
Every puzzle
You're...
is an answer.
Wait for it.
Look forward to the future. Always look on the bright side.
Oh yeah, that's...
That's not something.
Okay. Actually, I believe he...
Layton, you're very bad at playing a dead guy, aren't you?
I believe he has said that before. It's just that most people tend to remember the whole every puzzle has an answer since he says that one there.
I think she's more quoting the statue label, on the arm that was...
Oh wait, never
earlier.
mind. I don't think it was the professor who said that.
No, I remember the phrase being said, but I forgot who said it.
Emir.
Defender. Accused.
Who's that? I actually think that's a Miss Attorney reference, Joe. I think they're
No. Okay, to be fair, Phoenix points out that that's probably something the professor didn't say. I think... Yeah, they're either referencing...
It was Emir who said that.
Yeah, it was Emir who said that.
Oh, I have something for you, Mr. Wright. Here, please take it.
Right, the letter. We almost forgot about it.
A letter, huh? Let's see who it's from. Wait, Newton Belduke?
He got invited to Smash and I didn't.
Why does the envelope say adoption papers?
There are several sheets of parchment inside, but they're all blank.
Is that envelope in Apollo Justice where it said hit request?
The professor and I got this when we went to see the storyteller.
Thank you, Luke. The more info we have, the better.
Check on the other side just to be sure.
It's blank on both sides.
You're welcome.
Indeed.
Yeah, but you didn't press the button that lets you look on the other side. So
We don't have that button in this game, Apollo.
Shiroi, I wonder
Yes.
if you can convince these people that Lexi is a witch, if you know what I mean.
I've got no proof that it was Jean Grey who turned the professor into gold.
That would be so great if we could get Lexi in a definitive witch trial.
Even if
That
the
would be
magic
cool.
gem is a fake, it's still not decisive evidence. I don't know what will happen next, but I do know this battle's far
Actually-
from over.
Then again, Shiroi, Chucky did kind of do his own witch trial in episode 3, so there is that.
I mean, yes.
Okay, has the prosecution
Maya.
finally been calmed down?
Parrots. We will now resume the trial of Maya Fey.
Round 2!
First things first, the occult crime analysts have finished examining the evidence.
You,
Yeah.
Phoenix, you are not the father.
They have
thank
tested
God.
the 2 magic gems from the witch's scepter.
At least not for a few years.
Turns out they're both fake.
Gold ore floated on the surface of the water, whereas Familia sank.
Aha!
It was said that genuine magic gems float in pure water, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, which
is correct.
means... Haha! Okay, that's a good start for us.
Thus, it has been established that the familiar magic gem is a fake.
Oh snap.
Hey, I said it was a fake. There's no reason to start yelling. Yeah, order in court. This does not prove that gold ore was used, of course.
That's fair. That's fair. We'll just have to do this the hard way.
Nonetheless, the defense's theory does now seem more plausible. The court considers it worth looking into.
It will go from plausible to undeniable.
You have no objections to that, do you, Inquisitor Barnum?
Surely your day can't get any more crazy.
No, my lord.
He says through gritted teeth.
While holding that damn sword.
It's cool, shut up.
Now then, bring in the witness!
Alright.
Hello there.
Witness, state your name and profession.
Jean Grail. Child.
That's not a profession.
It's what I am.
My name is Jean Grail. I served the late Master Belduke.
I'm pretty sure they just always wanted to do the butler did it scenario. And now we're here.
Yeah, seriously, we spent like 4 Ace Attorney games without, I think, having a case where the butler did it.
I think we held out long enough.
Why not do a little bit of a spin and have the butler also be a witch while we're at it?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I actually...
Since his death, I have been tending to his dwelling and putting his research materials in order.
One of my favorite things in Miracle Mask is how they make you think that it was the butler that did it, when in reality it was quite the opposite.
Although the butler did actually technically do it in Last Spectre.
True, that is true.
Huh? I don't know what it is, but...
Phoenix feels a disturbance in the Force.
I feel there's something a bit different about Grey Earl today. Have you noticed it too, audience?
Not really. Again, I argue we got so little to know about Jean before this.
Oh, trust me, too. If you pay close enough attention, you'll see it soon, too.
As you are no doubt aware, you've been accused of being a witch.
Therefore, it is vital that you tell us. Are you a boy or a girl? And no, you don't get any Pokemon starters for this.
What's Pokemon?
So... I guess...
Fire, please. Doesn't matter what it is, just the fire. Thank you.
Such a
Good
paltry
taste. Good taste, Shiroi.
But as a water type fan, I strongly disagree on that.
Please hold on.
None of those generations consist of cute cat Pokemon, so, you know, just...
True.
At least not as starters.
Excuse my rudeness, my lord, but at this time, I do not intend to answer that question.
It's a surprise, but will help us later.
That's obstruction of justice, so you cannot be,
You see, I identify...
Oh, this court has let people get away with far worse, but anyway, go on.
Why do you refuse to answer, witness?
I have been following this trial from the gallery, and so am fully aware of the utterly absurd accusations made against me. Alchemy, the art pursued by Master Belduke, is concerned with the rules and logic that govern nature.
Fuck the rules.
As someone who had been helping Master Beldit for quite some time, I dare say your theory is both illogical and impossible.
I mean,
I still refuse to answer.
I was gonna say, you won't answer the question, that doesn't help.
Objection! The witch's scepter was thrown into the crime scene through a portal created by the magical spell Godor. Also, it's nice that we may burn witches alive, but we do not conduct strip searches on people involuntarily to prove their gender.
It's interesting standards, I guess.
We'll burn
We're
them!
all for burning people.
We're all for burning, but no nudity. There are kids here. And what's more, one of the walls in your room is painted green.
Well,
If I'm not mistaken, isn't Jean also, like, they look like they're in their teens?
I believe anyone is free to paint their walls in whichever color they please. Besides,
I argue, however, that the game is going for a different direction more than anything, but again, I'll mention in a second.
Yeah.
You are right in that regard. It's just that arguably this would be a lot quicker if the court forced a strip search, but yeah.
your
Well,
theory
Jovah,
relies on one magic gem being a fake. While that may have been proven true, another question has arisen.
And
It's like they say in South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut, Jovah. Horrific violence is okay as long as there's no nudity or naughty words.
Where could the
You say that,
genuine
Pedro,
magic
but in
gem
the same
be?
game, there's a sequence with the underpants news.
now, okay, one
Well,
thing.
actually, the bigger, longer, and uncut is the movie, not the game. But
Sorry, I forgot about
Anyway,
that.
part of why Guerrero is possibly my favorite original character for this is like, well, as a courtroom opponent, they, being of course apprenticed to an alchemist, approach things at a very logical turn here and there, which means that they're actually pretty good at the logical battle, whole guise of the courtroom and whatnot. It must have been swapped with the fake one and discarded somewhere.
Now, who's assuming?
I'm afraid that's impossible, and I said it in red, so going by Umineka rules, that means it's the truth.
Why?
Oh, it's a long story, but aside from that, if we assume, as you have claimed, that the witch used the spell Godor, that would mean the magic gem must have been swapped after creating the portal.
Yes, and?
your point being?
I'm thinking. So tell me, when and where would the witch have disposed of the magic gem?
Their point is that the magic gem does have to be in the staff in order for the spell to have occurred.
Well, it does mention that the portal lasted for 5 minutes, so I'm assuming the gem doesn't need to stay there. I see your point. Because it's convenient to me.
And he wants just one thing to go right for him today.
Several people paid witness to the incident, and the Knights of the Inquisition arrived at the scene of it immediately after.
Although, while it does hang open for a bit, one does wonder, can it only stay open with the gem in the staff
That's also
or not?
another thing, it's mostly just speculation because, again, in universe, none of these people know if the spell actually works and under what conditions.
The
During that
wonders.
time, no one left the building and the whole place was meticulously searched.
Naturally,
Sure. Oh, sorry, go.
my room was searched as well, although there was not much to see as I have few personal belongings.
Despite our inspection, nothing resembling a magic gem was found. I assure you, we have not overlooked anything. I will swear it on my honor as a knight.
Oh, well, when you put it like that, I guess now it's time for me to go to work.
Oh no.
Looks like you're out of a job, sir.
Usually. Never say that when Phoenix is your opponent. That's probably the thing that gives him more power.
Phrasing, my dude.
So, Mr. Wright, should you not first prove that there is a connection between me and this missing magic gem?
Again, technically a logical point in that regard.
Furthermore, I would appreciate it if you would please approach the matter in a rational way, like an alchemist.
But he's not a.
There's always time to learn, Dwibs.
The house was
Right now,
searched very soon after the crime. Well, Dwibs, it's not like doing stuff literally on the spot and by the seat of his pants is new for Phoenix. If the gem wasn't found, that means Grail hid it somewhere. Somewhere the Knights of the Inquisition could not have looked. Where could it be? Okay, so if Grail's actually a girl, maybe...
We're not doing this.
The witness has made a valid argument. How will the defense respond? It sounds
Vote now on your phones.
It sounds like he's narrating the next time trailer.
The knights who
Join us
searched
next
Sir
time on
Beldrick's
Crossfire.
premises weren't looking for a magic gem. That's why there was a certain place they didn't consider searching.
The corpse's ass. I don't know.
Interesting. You really don't give up easily, do you?
Would we have made it this far if I did?
In that case, perhaps you could tell us all where the magic gem is.
Well, I'm
And
glad
please
you
don't tell me
asked.
it's inside the parrot because I will cut you down instantly.
Could you imagine if it were? Sir Beldrick's premises were
Terrible.
thoroughly searched. I don't think anything would have been missed there. However... You anticipated that, and that's why you hid it in a blind spot that you knew wouldn't occur to the knights.
A blind spot, you say? Well, where is it?
It's a blind spot, Barnum.
It's somewhere on Jean Grail's person.
You really want to get your hand on this person, Phoenix? That's kind of creepy.
What?
Hey!
It's on the witness.
No,
Looks like the judge's attitude is rubbing off on him, huh?
no!
Don't tell me the witness has it in their pocket. You're just guessing, aren't you? You think you can say anything you like?
Go check.
By
Do
the
it, you
way,
won't.
I'm afraid there are no pockets in my clothing.
I didn't
So
say
tread,
that.
so tread carefully.
I'll
This is the second time I've seen Grail today.
elaborate on why I laughed at that when we get to later.
And both times I've had a feeling that something wasn't quite right.
Also, for an alchemist, having a dress with pockets is kind of mandatory. You need to store things on your
Well,
person.
remember, Grail was the butler. An apprentice to the alchemist, yes, but a butler first and foremost. But remember, Phoenix mentioned how he thought something felt different about Grail. Now you're about to see the payoff to that, Tio.
Defense, show us the location of the magic gem.
Alright.
Where do you think this witness hid the magic gem on the day of the crime?
Okay, I just asked that you all remain
We did that
mature
already,
as I...
Pedro. There are no seats here.
I just asked that you all remain mature as I point out where it may have been hidden, okay?
Yeah, this gives me the time to mention something.
Somewhere.
I get the idea what the game is going for is to imply the idea that the G might be instead
Got it.
homunculus. Okay, I mentioned it.
Witness. We met for the first time at Sir Beldrick's premises. At that time, you had an amethyst attached to your collar. See, that's what was different about Grail.
So it's literally just spot the difference.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Mr. Grail did keep a gemstone.
Alchemists believe that amethysts emit positive energy.
Amethysts are purple.
Yes.
Very good, Barnum.
And then the French.
Oh, I learned something today.
Yes, and in the French version, your name is Garnet. The gemstone you were wearing was green, not purple. Aha!
And now they're not wearing any.
I figured you out, girl. You're colorblind. Admit it.
No response.
A colorblind witch in Labyrinthia must be the worst job ever in order to select the spells.
I know, right? Holy cow.
Maybe they keep the gems in jars, like labeled jars.
Where is that amethyst that you supposedly always wear?
I ate it.
Objection!
Oh, so
wait
you're
just
Emily
a
from
minute.
Stardew Valley.
Uh-oh.
The witness wears a purple gemstone?
Took you a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, you kinda had to click it.
Is something amiss, Inquisitor Barnum?
He can't believe he's getting roasted by a baker again.
When we arrived at the crime scene, the witness came out to meet us. I recalled the witness wearing a gemstone, but that gemstone was green!
Thank you, Barnum. You're a massive help.
I mean, to be fair, he's just doing, his job, finding the truth and everything.
He's very stressed right now as well, you need to understand.
Green? Amethysts aren't green, although amateurs sometimes mistake parasolite for amethyst, but that's irrelevant now.
That's like in trivia, gemstone trivia with algae.
Oh, thanks. I'll keep that in mind. Huh. Witness. You've been trying to pin the blame on the defendant. In order to do that, you replace the gold or magic gem with a regular gemstone.
And wipe that smug grin off your face. We thought the witch who killed Sir Belduke had used the spell Familiar, whatever. You knew that if a witch's scepter with the Familiar and gold or magic gems attached was discovered at the crime scene,
Thank you.
the suspect would be accused of committing both crimes, and that's precisely what happened.
Thanks for the help, Your Honor?
I mean, again, these people are still doing their job in finding the truth.
Yeah.
We're so far away the days of Edgeworth, the gaslighting, the crime.
The girl captured at the crime scene was accused of slaying both Sir Belduke and Sir Layton.
No one is pointing the more obvious part to the fact that the gemstones that are attached to the neck of Jean are kind of small compared to the ones encrusted in the Italia Magica.
I chalk that up to just, they look smaller, but they actually
see what it
fit.
looks like in the hands of Barnum, so we do know that they're not small on their own.
The thing is, according to the story, apparently they're big enough to fit in the Italia Magica, so maybe it's all about of the perspective we see them from.
That's why, when we saw you shortly after the incident, you were wearing a green gemstone.
Mm-hmm. Hey, we actually make a good team when we're working together.
Don't get used to it. To think that was in fact a magic gem.
And why are you still smiling about it? Come off as really smug.
Order! Order!
Oh, I have a voice suddenly.
Is that true?
No.
This amounts to nothing more than conjecture. I do not believe you have any solid proof. However, I have to concede that you have surmised a logical connection between me and the missing magic gem.
That pleases me.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying I don't think whether the actresses got the memo.
Nah. Honestly, she does a fine enough job. Trust me, I've heard way more feminine-sounding guys, both in fiction and in real life. You'd be surprised.
Good. I will repeat what I asked you previously.
But this time with a voice.
State your name, profession, and finally, your gender.
Oh,
I told you I wasn't gonna. But I told you I wasn't gonna answer
My
that
name
bit.
is Jean Grail. I have been serving the late Master Belduke. As As you can see, I wear a butler's outfit. But the truth is, as the defense claims, I am a girl.
Dun dun dun!
And as for why I laughed earlier, it's because women's clothes don't have real pockets.
Yeah. Maybe that was foreshadowing.
I'm gonna take it as that.
What?
So in a twist, though, Grey Arrow actually does come clean about her gender.
Mrs. Mouse preposterous.
Butler, girls can't be butlers.
I'm sorry, I lost my voice. Order! Order in the court!
He was so shocked.
Yes, seriously, the voices coming in and out is really weird. Jean Grail, are you declaring to the court that you are in fact female?
What does it look like? Yes.
Also, Dribs, remember, we have the voice sections be the incredibly important bits.
But everyone in town was under the impression that you were a boy.
And that's just an accomplishment of how well I disguised it. Did you hear that? The butler's a girl. Doesn't that make him, her, a maid?
I knew there was something suspicious about him. I mean, her.
This explains why I was so attracted to him. Or her.
You know why, right? Think about it. All that alchemy, that's mighty suspicious. He probably turned himself into a girl.
Again, that's
I don't think alchemy does that.
Oh,
Not
you'd
exactly
be surprised,
that,
Shiroi.
not exactly that, Shiroi. The thing I was trying to say before, there's this concept about the homunculus, essentially an artificial human created by alchemy, which in theory is born without a gender to begin with, even if they might have an appearance that can be...
Oh, Tio, that line right there.
Had they known I was a girl, they would have taken me for a witch.
Are you?
That's what Master Beldick was worried about. He told me it would be safer to pretend to be a boy.
In other words, you disclose that you're a female, but deny that you're a witch.
I guess it is a step forward.
I would have thought that was obvious.
Also, Tio, to be fair, alchemy was used to switch the genders of a few folk in the Symphogears anime. So
I haven't seen that.
she knew that once her gender came into question, she wouldn't be able to conceal it. That's why she made this public now. It was the most rational choice for her. Again, it's an interesting twist. She chooses when she reveals the information so that it works best in her favor. She knew that if we had to pry it out of her that it was her gender, that would have just made the court all the more suspicious of her.
Has all the evidence in this Golden Gentleman case already been presented?
Why do you ask? I don't have a updated autopsy report if that's what you're
I've
wanting.
seen the latest episode of Hollyoaks.
As it stands, you do not have a single piece of evidence proving that I am a witch. Given the lack of pertinent evidence against me, I would like to be permitted to return to my duties.
Well, let me think about that.
Also, didn't we just had this in the previous trial? The actual, what was revealed to be the actual culprit wanted to get away.
What say you, Inquisitor Barner? This
Dude.
person who we're very suspicious of wants to leave.
It
To
has been
be-
proven that the two gems were swapped. However, it may also have been possible for the accused to have done so.
To be fair, unless the defense has something to say, Jean has actually made a better case for herself than Kira did. Anyway, Maya had no reason to swap the gems.
This is a place of judgment. There is no need for us to understand the reasons behind the criminal's objection. In other words,
Yes, there
nothing
is.
is futile in these trials. To be fair, it eliminates a potential large problem that might arise. After all, those whom we judge are otherworldly creatures. They are witches. It is impossible for a human being to understand reasoning of a witch.
Admittedly, there might just be some of those cases where the murderer really doesn't have a clear motive outside of them
we do
being...
know eventually what the culprit they had motives potentially and everything, but when it comes to the core of the trial, the Phoenix needs to prove that the person had a motive as well.
Barnum still thinks Maya's a witch. We've made it this far, and yet it feels like we're back at stage 1.
Well,
Someone stop giving Luke sweets, please.
it seems that there are no more rational arguments against me. Now, if you will kindly excuse me.
Hey, I didn't say you could leave.
I don't have much on Grail when it comes to the professor's case.
But
But, should I just let her go?
after all of this, sure.
There's nothing else I can follow up on regarding the professor's case. So what can I do? There's only one other option. Miss Grail, I have to ask you to remain at the witness stand.
Oh, is there something else you wish to ask me?
What's your favorite color?
Your testimony is not over yet. There's still something you need to tell us about. And that thing is...
Mr. Wright, I'm afraid I cannot help you.
You didn't hear the...
I have told you all I could about this incident.
Yeah, he hasn't asked the question yet.
And I'm afraid you've got the wrong idea, Miss Grail.
Everyone's assuming in this trial.
Your Honor, what this witness needs to testify about is not the professor's murder, but rather the incident from 3 months ago, namely Sir Belduke's death.
The truth about 3 months ago.
As she was present in the building at the time, working as a live-in butler, she needs to testify about the events of that day.
No, I don't. Why not? Because I said so.
Phoenix, that's not the case where...
About Sir Belduke's death.
Oh yeah, I'm about to pull a rise from the ashes with this.
What are you talking about?
This is not the parrot. This is not the parrot.
The fact that one of the magic gems was swapped leads me to a single conclusion.
They swapped themselves over by magic.
Ooh.
Huh. Well, given what magic can do, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, there should be a spell about substituting an object with another on a place.
Both crimes, the murder of Sir Belduke and the transmutation of the professor, were the work of the same witch. You know, that makes me wonder, do witches sometimes just carry a belt of ammunition, like, okay, I want to burn
Probably.
someone, here's the firestone, oh, turn them to
Yes,
gold.
but the Talea Magica is the casting, catalyst, and we just need to insert the slot in the slots. Oh, I need a better life.
What's your opinion on this, Inquisitor Barnum?
Yeah. I'll allow you to have your way this time, Sir Blue Knight. The Inquisition has no objections.
Hey!
I have an objection.
Inquisitor Zacharias Barnum, it seems you have lost that unyielding attitude so admired by the townspeople.
Oh, boo-hoo, cry me a river.
I think he wants to find out the truth. Yeah, how, what
The
about...
goal.
Here you are now, letting a novice defender lead you by the nose.
Just trying to manipulate him.
Yeah, this is why I'm not really big on G, to be honest.
It is hard to believe that you had been known as the unwavering sword of justice for your usually cool-headed judgment.
Dwebs.
Also, Dibs, what's she supposed to do? Just easily go down the route that could get her caught? Like, no, she's putting up a fight against that.
Do you want her to just immediately admit?
Even
Maybe-
before this bit,
More. I get the idea. It would be more of a case of I have nothing to hide, so do whatever you want.
Pretty much, yeah. Like
Well,
basically,
no, but in this case, instead, she's just ranting about it and said, "Oh, you dare to accuse me? You're a bad person."
well, more like her guys is I have
Alright.
nothing to
Do you
hide,
think
and this
I
is a
care
waste
about
of
defending my
time.
name after that parrot? Is this town? It is this
Yeah.
town that I wish to defend.
And this, I'm surprised I'm sane enough to remember my name.
Sir Belduc's murder is the only case that remained unsolved for so long.
Might as well take another extra hour or so to solve it.
Can I put the sword down now, please? Thank you.
Jean Greyer, you shall now testify about it.
You are the best list.
What are the close-ups?
Okay,
that happened.
Shutakumi decided he wanted to
Zoom in on
incorporate-
everyone's faces
This
there.
is my directing.
Yeah, so join us next time where we do the amazing thing and do a cross-examination scene filled up all the characters' noses by how close the camera's getting.
Exemplary. See you next
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.